Now, the Thursday will mark 25 years since the passing of University of Arkansas professor Dr. John Locke. He was tragically killed by a disgruntled student on the second floor of Kimpel Hall on campus back in August of 2000. Now, Fox 24's Dylan Noonan is going to join us in the studio. And Dylan, you actually had the chance to speak with a professor who was in the building 25 years ago.
That's right, Josh. I had a chance to talk with a journalism professor at the university who at the time was just a young administrator, and he told me he still remembers that day vividly, and yesterday's emergency response on campus brought back those same memories.
I think about Dr. Locke, and I think about that day when I walked by this memorial garden, and I think what a sweet way to honor his legacy.
It's almost been 25 years since University of Arkansas professor Dr. John Locke was killed on the second floor of Kimpel Hall by a disgruntled student. Larry Foley is a journalism professor at the university, and he was in the same building when Locke was murdered.
There was something going on. We didn't exactly know what. I didn't really know where, but my office was in the basement of Kimpel Hall, and what went down was on the second floor. And so I went to lunch, and the social media wasn't as crazy then as it is now. And what unfolded by the time I got back is that I couldn't get into the building.
Foley wasn't on campus for yesterday's active shooter response, but he says when he heard the news, it took him back 25 years.
Well, when I heard about it, one of the first things I thought about was what happened 25 years ago, which was tragic. And we didn't know what was going on here on campus for a while. Grateful for the officers of securing everything. Fortunately, nothing happened like the tragedy of 25 years ago.
When Foley heard of the situation, he began to make sure his students were safe, and after doing so, he instructed his journalism students to take action.
One of the first things I did was get permission to get my students and put them in the UATV studio, and we went live on cable access television. So we were actually broadcasting live from where it was going down, because the campus was secured for several hours.
Since Dr. Locke's passing, a memorial garden has been placed for him outside of Kimpel Hall. Foley says it's a great way to honor his memory.
I'm grateful that that his legacy lives on, not from how he passed away, but that he was a dedicated educator and was devoted to students like those who come and study in his garden.
Foley told me the passing of Dr. Locke affected him so much that it took him years before he could even walk past his office on the second floor of Kimpel Hall. In studio, Dylan Noonan, Fox 24 News.
All right, thanks, Dylan. Let's talk about this